The double murder of a mother and her young son. The insight into the FBI help in the search of the Jordan River. And the House of Representatives set to vote on the release of the Epstein files today. What Utah's lawmakers are saying about that vote. And holiday travel, always busy. What you can expect this year if your travel is part of your Thanksgiving plans.
Live and stream. This is KSL Today.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us on KSL News Now as we kind of slide on into this Tuesday. I'm Lori Pritchard. We're going to get to all those stories in just a bit, but first, Deja Brown's got your traffic. Matt Johnson, let's start with you and talk about the forecast.
All right, we're talking about cloudy skies today. Pretty cut and dried for northern Utah, but southern Utah, you've got a storm system, and that's going to be valley rain and mountain snow. Though northern Utah, we just deal with the clouds. Here's a look at satellite and radar. You can see things picking up here. Just some light valley rain showers trying to hit the ground in southern Utah. Snow up above out towards the Bryan Head area. That's where we're going to see most of the activity. So your hourly forecast, 43 at 7 a.m., cloudy skies, Wasatch Front. Headed into the afternoon, I've got highs topping in the mid and upper 50s. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies, Deja, as we see that storm impact mainly southern Utah.
Matt, thank you so much. Let's get you a check of your traffic. Some good news for you. We did have an earlier crash, I-15 southbound near 130th South in the Draper area. It was blocking your left shoulder about 5 minutes ago, but just within the last few minutes, it is completely clear. And thankfully, we're not seeing any residual delays because of it. Your main span of traffic is flowing pretty well. But however, we are dealing with another crash. This is I-80 eastbound near 1500 East in the Salt Lake City area. This has been blocking your shoulder for the past 30 minutes or so. Thankfully, not seeing any major issues as far as drivers who are traveling along the main span, with average speeds right now at 72 miles per hour. Taking a quick look at the map. Whoa, just within the last few minutes, we have multiple issues that have popped up. These two are clear. We'll take a look at these crashes coming up, and I'll give you the details, Lori.
All right, Deja, we'll check back in with you in just a bit. Meanwhile, our top story this morning, we're getting key insight into a search by the FBI in Saratoga Springs. They're combing the banks of the Jordan River, searching for evidence into a double murder, and it is bringing hope to the victims' families. News specialist Brian Carlson is live with our story this morning. Brian, kind of walk us through this FBI investigation.
I will do here, Lori. Yeah, good morning. So based on our talks with a retired FBI agent, he says that there's a good reason why the FBI brought in his pretty technical dive teams to search the riverbanks. He says that doesn't happen unless you have a strong suspicion you're onto something big or important here in these murders. Now, our crews were there as the FBI teams scoured the muddy riverbanks there of the Jordan River. The FBI slogging through the river sediment, hoping to help Saratoga Springs police catch a break in the double homicide investigation that has already stretched into nearly 8 months. So far, there have been no arrests there in the shootings that killed Jessica Orton Lyman and her 8-year-old son Eli. Now, while the FBI isn't saying what exactly crews are looking for this week, police have said previously that they have yet to recover a gun. And retired FBI agent Greg Rogers tells KSL he believes that's why the FBI is here, using their manpower and technical equipment.
To get this type of response and to get this type of effort to be working in that river, you need a pretty good indication there's something there. Something's happened in this investigation to make them believe that.
Now, KSL also spoke to Saratoga Springs about this investigation and where the case stands today. They say over the last 8 months, the police department has found a number of different evidence that have at least been tested more than once, and that information has been passed on to the DA. So right now we're waiting to hear what the FBI may have dug up there in the Jordan River. Now, the Orton family, they did issue a statement through the city. They say they are encouraged by this search and they remain hopeful that this will bring some accountability to whoever is responsible. Reporting live, Brian Carlson, KSL 5 News. Back to you.
Brian, just so I understand it, though, there are no suspects in this case, correct?
That's my understanding, is that really you're kind of waiting to be able to find evidence that could link them to whoever did it, right? So you have at least, we know that they were killed, you know where they were killed, and then now that we're seeing the FBI begin to look into this case more and dig up this area even further, you get a better sense for, all right, this is where they're pointing their direction. Once you have some of that evidence, then you can be able to link that to a person here who may or may not be responsible.
All right, Brian Carlson live for us this morning. This case has stretched on, as you said, for 8 months. Let's hope that they find something. Brian, thanks. In other headlines this morning, a Utah woman now serving 12 months probation after court documents say that she vandalized petroglyphs in King County. 47-year-old Daniela Erickson must also pay a fine, write an apology letter to the tribes that live in that area. The Bureau of Land Management says the cost to restore these petroglyphs is more than $11,000. The Utah judiciary is condemning recent threats tied to a judge's decision to reject a congressional map that was drawn by lawmakers in favor of one proposed by voter groups. The judiciary said it does not comment on specific threats, but calls on everyone to approach concerns involving the courts with civility, respect, and constructive dialogue. Salt Lake City police say they plan to increase patrols around the Matheson courthouse. And we have new developments this morning, the case of a missing Utah woman in California. Her boyfriend now speaking out, saying he is not involved in her disappearance.
Absolutely not, 100%. God is my witness. I have nothing to do with it. All I want to do is help try to find her.
35-year-old Danielle Staley from Holiday has been missing since November 6th. She was last seen near Rio Del Mar State Beach. The 62-year-old boyfriend, his name is Nunez, is now coming forward after getting criticism on social media, where many have brought up the couple's history of domestic violence. He believes Staley may have relapsed into drug use. Now, last check, deputies say he is not considered a suspect, and he is cooperating with this investigation. Right now, investigators in Lehigh still trying to figure out what started a massive fire at a construction site last week. That fire spread quickly through what was going to be an apartment complex. It was going to have about 300 units. The Lehigh fire chief says that they know the flames started in an area with electrical boxes. He said they're looking into a possible malfunction, maybe even arson or something else entirely. If you are flying out of Provo today, you can expect to see some Allegiant pilots on the picket line on your way inside the airport. We spoke to an airline pilot who says it's been too long since Allegiant has given them fair compensation, work rules, benefits. More than 1,400 Allegiant pilots plan to picket at 22 airports across the country. The pilots say they've been in negotiations for the last 5 years, and the latest salary offer came in at 24% below competing airlines.
We want to stay here. We want to make careers out of Allegiant, but if we can't receive that compensation, then unfortunately people are going to leave.
All flights should take off as planned during this demonstration. Pilots have voted in support of a full strike, but have not announced a plan to do so just yet. We reached out to Allegiant for comment on the picket line. We have not heard back. Let's go to Bluffdale this morning. One of the main east-west thoroughfares, the 146 South Underpass, now officially closed for more than a year. The city will spend nearly 15 months straightening the road and expanding it.
We will be actually moving the bridge south, and we will have two lanes going east and 2 lanes going west. And we will also be adding on 10-foot pedestrian and bike lanes on the site as well.
Bluffdale's mayor says that they will build a tunnel underneath those railroad tracks and then push it into place while allowing the trains to keep moving while they do construction. The road is expected to reopen in early 2027.
All right, let's check in on your weather, folks. I got clouds out there over Salt Lake City, and this blanket of clouds may break up and give us some peaks of sunshine today, but it's not going to be going anywhere over the next 2 to maybe even 2.5 days. I got showers moving into southern Utah. Right now it's 53 in St. George, 42 in Blanding, and 47 in Salt Lake. Ely to Elko, you've got upper 20s and low 30s right now. Low pressure system in California will continue to drive south. As it does so, it'll turn the corner into Arizona and keep showers in play for southern Utah over the next several days. In fact, today's forecast, valley rain and mountain snow up above 6,500 feet. We could see accumulating snowfall. You work into the northern half of the state, well, we're just talking about mostly cloudy skies with some sprinkles possible for Price out towards Nephi. Coming up in just a few minutes, 7-day forecast and how much rain and snow is expected. It's all coming up.
Sounds great, Matt. Thanks so much. Let's get you a check of your traffic. Still dealing with an earlier crash, I-80 eastbound. As you make your approach to that 1500 East exit, it continues to block the shoulder, and we are seeing some more police vehicles that are pulling up, some trooper vehicles. Taking a look at the map, when we last spoke, we saw 4 new issues on the map. I-15 northbound, we did have an earlier crash on your approach to Bangor, seeing some minor issues on the approach. Just as we pushed in on it, it has disappeared. As you travel northbound I-15, we also had a crash over near 53rd South. You want to keep that in mind as you travel back there, about a mile worth of delays as you make the approach. Also deal with a new crash. This one is I-215 southbound as you travel through the Holiday area. Not seeing any major impacts on the approach because it is off to the shoulder. So keep that in mind as you're heading out the door. Lori.
All right, Deja, thank you. Big day in Capitol Hill today. The House of Representatives could vote on releasing government case files involving sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. One of the bill's main supporters, Representative Thomas Massey, predicts it will pass with a veto-proof majority. This comes despite the battle just to get it on the floor. A bipartisan discharge petition is forcing that vote, despite prior resistance from House Speaker Mike Johnson. President Trump also reversing his position, now saying he'll sign the legislation. 4 Republicans from Utah will vote on this issue. Congressman Blake Moore's office confirmed that he is expected to vote yes to release the files. Meanwhile, Utah's 3 other members of Congress, Mike Kennedy, Celeste Malloy, Burgess Owens, did not respond to our request for comment on how they will be voting today. It's unclear if the Epstein files will pass the Senate. However, the Salt Lake Tribune reporting that Utah Senator John Curtis has said that he believes the Epstein files should be released as a matter of transparency. One of the biggest international tournaments in sports, the FIFA Men's World Cup, is headed to the U.S. this summer. But right now, President Trump says he might ask for certain host cities to be cut from that list. On Monday, the president said he feels crime is too high in certain Democratic-led cities and that city leaders were not cooperating with the federal government.
The governors are going to have to behave. The mayors are going to have to behave. If we think there's going to be a sign of any trouble, I would ask Johnny to move that to a different city.
Well, he's talking about FIFA's president, Gianni Infantino. He was at President Trump's side during those remarks. Infantino did not endorse Trump's position. Back here at home, the Central Utah Health Department warning how quickly measles is spreading. This comes after they confirmed 2 more cases in Utahns on Monday. Both people were unvaccinated and had been in contact with someone they believe had the disease. They're asking the community to be aware that the virus is here and ask they take quick action to limit any exposure. It can take up to 21 days for symptoms to show if exposed. Take a look at this. This is a map from the Utah Department of Health showing the reported 84 cases in the state so far. 16 of those have been diagnosed within the last 3 weeks. Last year, there were no reported cases and only 1 case in 2023. Brigham City is set to become a hub for Utah's nuclear energy's future. State leaders announced a partnership to advance Operation Gigawatt. That's what they call it. It's the governor's initiative to double Utah's energy capacity. Brigham City says that project will feature a small modular reactor from Holtec International. It's expected to create hundreds of jobs while building Utah's first full-scale nuclear energy system. Ski Utah and UDOT hosting a Cottonwood sticker event today. It's in hopes of keeping canyon traffic moving on any upcoming storm days. And you can stop by the Ski Utah headquarters anytime today from noon until 4 o'clock to get your tires checked. That's when you'll get your sticker for the winter season. They also will be giving away treats and prices, something that we're looking forward to, and that is snow in the canyons, Matt.
Yes, it is. We've really been hard-pressed to get it so far this year, and southern Utah actually might be picking up more snow than northern Utah over the next couple of days. I've got mostly cloudy skies here down in southern Utah, and these clouds that were taken by Mike Satter are going to be producing some rainfall today. And you can see those showers extending in from California. Yes, that is exactly what we want to see. Except for we need more of it. But, you know, we'll take what we can get. A couple of those showers will extend north into Moab, Green River, maybe even Price today. This takes us into 5 o'clock. Notice southern Utah with some snow in the mountaintops up above about 6,500 feet. We'll continue to pump that moisture into the state. Off and on showers expected for today into tomorrow. This is 4 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. That should extend those showers all the way into Thursday. So looking at totals, Just today alone, about 1/10 to 1/2 inch. Let's add in what we're expecting for Wednesday. We could reach totals of 1/2 inch to 1 inch in areas. I'd say most of us in southern Utah picking up 1/4 inch plus. Snowfall. Now through Wednesday, we're talking about 2 to 6 inches above 6,500 feet. Above 8,000 feet, 6 to 12, with some locally picking up 15 inches. So that's good news. All right, central Utah, you've got a couple of showers possible today. It's not amounting to much. Southern Utah, different story. Accumulating snowfall, maybe even some snowflakes mixing in for Panguitch and Loa, who sit above 7,000 feet. Evanston, West Valley, most of northern Utah, it's mostly cloudy skies, but we could see some windows of sunshine. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. We do need some of that vitamin D. St. George, we've got some showers possible today and tomorrow. We will see some of those into Thursday, high of only 52, and then we clear it out. Here's your weekend, upper 50s, near 60 by Sunday and Monday, more sunshine. Wasatch Front, we've got a 57 to 56, just a 20 to 30% chance for something on Wednesday, Thursday. Start clearing things out just in time. Couldn't have been better timing for your weekend. Deja?
Matt, thanks so much. Let's give you a live look at our UDOT camera. This is on the east belt of I-215 near 45th South. This was the site of an earlier crash in the Mill Creek area. It is completely out of the roadway, but we're still seeing a little bit of stacking on the approach. So just keep that in mind if you're about to head out and this is your normal area of transportation. Taking a look at I-15, we do have an earlier crash that is blocking part of the on-ramp I-15 northbound just south of 31st Street in the Ogden area. Police are on the scene. These are the two vehicles here that are involved. Otherwise, not seeing any major impacts on our roadways. We'll have a full check of your main arteries coming up in just a bit, Lori.
All right, Deja, thank you. Let's talk consumer headlines this morning. 2 popular weight loss drugs will now cost you less if you would pay with cash instead of going through insurance. Novo Nordisk announced on Monday that it's offering the first 2 monthly doses of Wegovy and Ozempic for $199. That discount applies to the 2 lowest doses of the medication. It ends in March. Then the price goes up to $349. The company says the discounted drugs will be available at Costco, GoodRx, and Weight Watchers, as well as many retail pharmacies. Tariffs are impacting toys this holiday season, meaning you should expect to pay more and there will be lower inventory. One expert warns you shouldn't wait until Black Friday to buy those toys because it's unlikely they're going to go on sale and there's less available. Roughly 80% of all toys sold in the U.S. are manufactured in China, and Chinese imports have been hit hard with tariffs. Thanksgiving, we know, is one of the busiest holidays for travel. And if you're hitting the road this holiday season, you can expect more people will be on the road and at airports. AAA predicting nearly 82 million people will travel at least 50 miles from home during the period that runs from Tuesday before Thanksgiving to Monday after. It's projecting the majority of people, at least 73 million, will travel by car, while 6 million U.S. travelers are expected to take a domestic flight. Speaking of the holidays, Starbucks has a new holiday beverage, but you can only get it at Target. The frozen peppermint hot chocolate is available exclusively at Starbucks cafes inside Target stores. Prices for the Frappuccino-based drink start at just $6 for a grande size. It's available today for the general public. A restoration project to replace hundreds of trees in Salt Lake City Cemetery has officially wrapped up. You may recall Chopper 5 gave us this view back in September 5 years ago when a strong windstorm wiped out 250 trees out of nearly 1,500 that were growing in the cemetery. That storm brought gusts upwards of 112 miles an hour. That's how strong it was. It caused some of those trees to topple. Those trees were more than a century old, at least some of them were. City leaders joining forces with a few dozen volunteers to plant the remaining 30 trees across the cemetery. 10 different species of trees were planted. City leaders say they hope to plant more trees in the future for one of the most sacred places in Salt Lake. All right, we know Thanksgiving is next week. People are already looking ahead, though, to Christmas. The holiday cheer has arrived in Orem. Take a look. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, there you go. People gathering at the orchard at University Place for the annual Christmas tree lighting. The long-standing tradition also includes live music and treats and prizes. So if you miss that kickoff, you'll have plenty of time to catch it. The lights will flip on nightly through January 3rd. That's what we expect. Tis the season, Matt.
Yes, it is. We're inching closer and closer to the holidays. Temperatures out there in the low to mid 40s. I've got a 36 in Logan. That feels more like November. 39 in Delta, 41 in Blanding, and 53 in St. George with a couple of showers trying to work into town. You'll notice the 3-day for Wasatch Front calling for highs in the 50s and a lot of cloud cover. We could see some showers out of it Wednesday, Thursday, but all in all, it's nothing too impressive. So I've kept it cloudy across the north. Today in central Utah, a couple of spotty showers. Really the soaking rainfall and the snowfall that's going to accumulate, that's down in southern Utah, Deja.
Thank you so much, Matt. Let's take a look at your traffic. Seeing our usual congestion, I-80 eastbound coming out of Lake Point this morning with those lane restrictions on the on-ramp and, of course, across the main span of lanes here. But thankfully, once you reach the 201 freeway, we are in the clear. Your average speeds there kind of jump back up to 72 miles per hour. As you travel I-15 northbound through Bluffdale, this is near 158 South. We are seeing just some congestion on the approach after an earlier crash that we saw through Draper. That was specifically near around Bangerter Highway. Taking a quick look at the map, we had 4 crashes the last time we talked. Now we're at 1 that's on the westbound of I-215, traveling southbound near 45th South. So hopefully, in the next few minutes, that will clear. And an earlier crash in Ogden, I-15 northbound near that off-ramp at 31st South has just cleared as well, Lori.
All right, thanks for keeping us up to date, Deja. Well, it was a big weekend for Team USA. Some of the country's biggest Winter Olympic hopefuls delivered major wins across multiple sports. Figure skating, Alisa Louis, the reigning world champion who returned from retirement just last year, won Skate America despite some issues on her jumps. And then let's talk alpine skiing. Michaela Shiffrin dominating the first World Cup slalom of the season in Levi, Finland, winning by her biggest margin in 2 years. Go, Michaela. And for speed skating, Jordan Stoltz opening his World Cup season with the second fastest times ever in the 1,000-meter and 1,500-meter, winning 3 out of his 4 races. And here at home, Utah Mammoth putting their moms to the test, seeing what mom knows best about their sons. They asked each player's mom what their favorite food is. Check this out.
We go like seafood, sushi, on the water somewhere. John's favorite meal would be sushi. Schnitzel with Bratkartoffeln. You guys have to look that up. It's good though. Favorite meal is schnitzel. That's what he said.
Everybody loves schnitzel, right? This kicks off the Mammoth's annual Moms Trip, where they join their sons on the road for just a few games. Well, thanks so much for joining us on this Tuesday morning. A live look to downtown Salt Lake City as the sun comes up. Have a great day, everyone.